Otherworldlyculture.com presents a panel discussion with legendary stuntman Don Shanks, moderated by Michael Exler, and recorded at Horror Realm 2026 in Pittsburgh.
So thanks for taking some time out and speaking with us today. Let's start off with a little easy one. What made you want to get into the entertainment business?
Well, ever since I was a kid, I've always been pretending that I was something else. Whether it was a cowboy, Indian, or whatever. I mean, I grew up on a farm. I taught my horse how to do tricks. Fell off of it, jumped out of the hayloft, did all kinds of... And I just kind of just went that way. That was my favorite thing to do. Pretend that was somebody else.
Now, early on, you were in the wardrobe department. You worked with Noah's Ark and what was the other? Grizzly Adams. What is your responsibilities in that role for wardrobe?
Well, see, I grew up and I knew how to do a little of everything. So I went into theater. I did costuming, I did makeup, I did set designs, lighting designs. So when anything came up, like the Grizzly Adams, I designed my own wardrobe. And I just thought that everything that I was going to do, I had to have something personal that was mine, that I knew that was there, whether it's just changing my underwear every day. But that for that specific character, that you put something into it,
You feel more ownership of a character when you do that?
Well, yeah. Mm-hmm. The whole thing is you have to get inside his head. Okay, so what would he be wearing? Why would he, like if he's a Native American, okay, what is he going to be wearing? Where is he from? Would it be buffalo hides? Would it be deer hides? I know it doesn't have to be, anybody else has to know about it except for you. Mm-hmm. But when you're doing it, that it's there.
What made you get into the stunt portion? Because that's not really the sexiest part of filmmaking.
Well, tell you what, I was very athletic. I was always very athletic, and like I said, when I grew up, I had our barn designed like the ship mast, that I could swing from one mast to the other. I saw the Crimson Pirates, and it's like, that's what I want to do. I was only like 5 years old when I saw it. But I knew that was something, it's better for me doing the stunts than it is actually doing the acting, because I want to be part of it. I want to know that people know that it's me doing that, or I'm doing somebody else's. If I do somebody else's, I doubled Jim Carrey, Jeff Daniels, a lot of different, it's more fun. 75% of the money going through the Screen Actors Guild is stunt pay, which we don't get enough credit for it. We're not represented by the Screen Actors Guild as well as everybody else, but the lion's share of the money is stunt pay.
That brings up a good point. You mentioned Jim Carrey. What are some of the jobs that you do as a stunt performer that isn't on an action film or a horror film? And just, like a comedy or something, say. What are your jobs doing that?
Well, I was stunt coordinator on High School Musicals, so I don't know that that's exactly... But, it's like different things. It's like the director goes, I've always wanted to get this shot. And I go, I can give you that shot. I can do this, And when I'm doing somebody or doubling them. One time I was doubling Rutger Hauer in a movie, and what I do is I pick him out and I just look at him from a distance, and it's go, okay, how does he stand when he's talking? Does he use his right hand or his left hand? I just try to, and how does get the way that he's standing? Why is he doing this? And so the compliment I got was they're ready for a shot, and they go, Rutger, okay, we're ready for it, come on over. Rutger, we need you over here. They went over and they go, oh, it's Don. And Rutger's over there. So that's kind of a compliment that, and I got that from the other stunt people, when back in the old days, no one would admit that they did somebody else's stunts. Douglas Fairbanks had his stunt team, and the people that doubled him would never tell you that they did the stunts. You know, Bud Eakins did the jumps for Steve McQueen in the Great Escape, right? But until the day that Steve McQueen died, he would not say that he did those stunts. You know, it's like a code of ethics. You know, being a magician, you don't show people your tricks.
Almost like wrestling, where they...
Wrestling, yeah, well, wrestlers are probably one of the purest form of theater that you want. You have an antagonist, you have a protagonist. You know, I mean, and if you watch it, you know, it tells the story. And that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Was there any stunts in any film that you weren't really thrilled to do or you wouldn't do, like a fire stunt or water stunt, or would you do them all?
I do them all.
Every stunt guy I talk to, that's the exact answer that they give.
Well, I mean, you know, it's, if you're not afraid of it, you know, I mean, I'm not really great at high falls, you know, but I was going to do one off the Space Needle, and that's 750 feet, you know. It's like, okay, you got to figure out everything, you know, the top of it keeps moving. It's the wind. Anytime you get 20 feet off the ground, the wind has a factor, right? So, you know, it's like Dar Robinson used to do the decelerators, but he was doing one up in Canada. It was like, I don't know, 500 feet or whatever. And when he got to the very bottom, the cable broke. And he could have broken it at the very top. You know, but that's one where it starts, you know. But he and A.J. Kahunas were 5 foot in each other. One would go 200 feet, the other one would go 205 feet. And then A.J. decided to do one that would, he says, I'm going to put shit on his face that won't wash off. And he did one, and it was called Look Down and Die. And he did 450 feet free fall. And it killed him. He exploded the bag. And he made the bags. But that's, you know, if you get killed doing it, so much, you know, that's what we're there for. You know, not to kill us, but, you know, we know the risk.
Now, you said a little bit about not being represented, and there was a couple years ago, there was some talk about a stunt award for the Oscars. What are your feelings on that?
Well, you know, who's going to be judging it is what I want to know. Yeah. You know, I mean, there's a lot of films out there that would get nominated just because of the people that are in it, but not necessarily the stunt people. You know, but you know, they have the Taurus Awards, which is the Stunts Awards. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it would only be the stunt coordinators that would be represented.
I got you. The bosses, essentially.
Yeah.
I talked to Tom Morga once, and he made a good point that he thought it might be dangerous because, like you said, they're going to try to outdo each other.
Yeah. Well, and what's happening now, I mean, I watched one on the way over here at, oh God, Matt Damon was in it. Anyway, there was so much CGI crap, you know, that it doesn't look real. I mean, it's like they take this CGI, I mean, they have guys doing, you know, a 200-foot high fall and then walk away from it in the movie, you know, which it's not going to happen. You want things realistic. Or at least I think you do.
Yeah. More realistic, the better, in my opinion.
Unless it's like Superman or, you know, the Avengers or whatever, okay, then you can go over the top because you got a superhero.
Right.
Okay.
When it makes sense, you can go.
Yeah.
So let's go back to 1982. I just found this movie. Vinegar Syndrome put it out. It's called The Ghost Dance.
Yeah. So that was a fun one, too.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I really liked the plot, and you were the stunt coordinator, IMDb says. So talk a little bit about filming that movie.
Well, and I played a part, too.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. It was... We had a lot of fun doing that, you know. Henry Wilcoxon, I don't know if you know him, but he goes back to Cecil B. DeMille and silent movies, and he was playing my father, or uncle, I can't remember which. And there was a scene where we had to hang him. And he goes, no, I want to do it. And I go, and he's like 80 years old when we're doing that. And it's like, oh, okay. So I go, if you trust me, I'll you know, make sure that you're safe. And he's like, and it was I don't know, it was a lot of fun. You know, and I got to be coordinator, and I got to play a part, and I got a paycheck.
That's the most important part, right? So, Silent Night, Deadly Night, we're doing a little reunion here this weekend. You were on the stunt team for that.
Which one?
Silent Night, Deadly Night?
Oh, yeah. I was... I doubled the Santa Claus. I doubled the cop. I played a part. I played the priest. Right? I shot myself. I jumped out of the car, fired 5 shots, turned around, did the squibs, took the hits, played the cop, got an axe through the chest. You know.
You did a lot.
Yeah. And I only get credit for coming through the window.
Really?
Yeah. But I'll tell you an interesting story. I mean, it's interesting to me. But we're getting ready to do the scene with Linnea Quigley, where they come in, they're making love, and anybody that makes love, you gotta kill them. So anyway, there's a scene where I have to throw the axe at her, right? And they put up a prosthetic wall, and I go, okay, when we're doing this, I'm gonna have her stand there, go, you know, don't look at me, look to the left. If you're gonna move to the left, do not move to your right, right? We went through the whole thing, and I go, okay, and I'm gonna put her about right here. And I took one of the rubber axes and threw it. She goes, okay, right? So we do the scene, and the first time we did it, I knocked the wall down, because it wasn't sheared up that well. And so the next thing, you know, I came in, I split the Santa Claus. Okay, we're walking out, and she goes, that was pretty amazing. I go, okay, yeah. He goes, well, how'd you do that? I go, well, I've been throwing axes, I throw knives, you know, my adopted father has a world record kill with a knife, you know, this and that. I'm trying to explain where, you know, okay. She goes, no, how'd you stick that rubber axe in the wall? You know, they didn't tell you I was throwing a real axe at you? No. No, they didn't. But while we're doing the scene, Frank Bear was playing double the kid. And we're doing the scene here. I gotta get knocked around. I gotta go over a railing and pop back up and, you know, do all this stuff. And I said, okay, if we're going to try to do this all in a master shot, I'm not going to put my cup on, you know, because when I go over, it's going to bang the crap out of me. And you're like, okay. And I go, when you kick me, just kick me on the, and I'll react to it. And so we get into it, and I can tell he's over-ramping. I mean, he's just, you know, one of these. So it came to where he's supposed to kick me in the nuts. And he does. His foot came up and hit me in the back. It went up so high. And we started, you know, I put him on the ground, put the boots to him, and he starts to stop. Don't you fucking stop. You're so and he's just cringing. And I pick him up, I throw him through the wall, or through the window. And they said cut, and I dropped like a sack of shit. I wasn't ever going to stop, but, you know, I've never stopped for anything in a movie before. I mean, I've never missed a day of work. I broke my back. I went to the hospital. I came back to work. I had 2 fingers cut off. Had them sewn back on. I came back to work. I've never missed a day. And it's not because, I mean, I just like doing it. You know, and if it hurt a little bit, I mean, I had my face ripped open. 28 stitches. You know, finished shooting, went to the hospital. Broke a finger. They were going to amputate my finger. I go, no, you're not. We finished. We worked 8 hours. I went to the hospital. You know, I wait till after I'm done working, and then I can, you know, when I broke my back, I had to go have it checked out, and then I came back. But I jumped off of a school bus onto a moving car right after I broke my back. Anyway.
I guess
it
that's
just shows how stupid I can be.
But it might be smart because if the fear gets to you, then you might not have a job anymore.
Well, that's true. That's true. If you're afraid, then, I mean, I can tell when somebody's afraid. I can actually smell it. You know, they start perspirating. They start, you know, overamping. And they give off a scent. I mean, I've worked a lot with animals. So I can tell when one's getting agitated, or when, or if someone's not paying attention, if I can look in their eyes and they're not looking at me,
Right.
then they're going to eat shit.
So let's move on to Halloween 5 and Michael Myers. How
Yes.
did you land the iconic role?
Well, that's another interesting story. I had worked with Don Pike on a Chips episode, as a matter of fact, a pilot for another Chips episode series. Anyway, he had come into town and he called me and he said, I'm in town doing this movie. Are you available for doing stunts? I go, yeah. All right. So he calls me back 5 minutes later and he goes, the director would like to talk to you. I go, for doing stunts? Because usually, the stunt coordinator is the one that picks you out. He goes, well, they want to see you about playing Michael Myers. Well, what movie are you doing? Well, it's Halloween 5. Oh, okay. So I go in, meet with Dominique, and we talk for a little bit, and this and that, and he goes, okay, I just want to talk you through something. I go, okay. He goes, stand up. He goes, I want you to walk like wood through water. Thought about it for a minute, and I go, okay. And I did it, and he goes, all right, you got the part. That's all I had to do.
So were you, obviously you were aware of Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
Were you a fan at all? Or?
Oh, yeah, I loved Halloween. Some of the earlier stuff, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, Halloween, these people were pulling out something that had never been done before. I saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre at an art theater, and I just started looking at it going, leaning forward, looking a little more, and it's like, oh man, that's good. That's really good. Right? Why has nobody ever done that before? And they're still lasting to this day, and they keep making movies because people love it.
Did you go back to watch any of the movies to see how other guys portrayed them, or did you want to bring your own?
Well, I had asked Dominic, and he goes, no, I want you, because part 4 was going to be coming out. Mm-hmm. He says, no, I want you to bring what you have. I go, okay. But if you look at us, Dick Warlock and I were doing Married with Children. And I said, we played the same part. He goes, oh, really, what? I go, Michael Myers. He goes, oh, yeah, we did, blah, blah, blah. And I go, do you ever do any of the personal appearances? What do you have to do? Well, you just bring some pictures, you sign them, you talk to people, and they pay you. Okay. All right, so it's like 4 months later, and I had got a call on a show, and I was already booked. And so I called, I said, would you like Dick Warlock? And I'll see if he's available. He doesn't do personal appearances. And I go, well, no one's asking. So I called him up. He goes, you really going to do this for me? I go, yeah. He goes, God, that's great. Thank you. So the next time I saw him, he had the banner, he had the pictures, and he was just going full bore. And such a nice man, But if you look at us, he's 5'7", I'm 6'2". We both played Michael Myers. So because we were standing there, and he's like up to my shoulders. He goes, yeah, sure, we played the same part.
Were you the only one to put on the mask in 5? Because there's a lot of people that did in the first one.
Yeah, there was one shot where they had to have him standing behind the door. And they had to wrap me for the day because everybody on a forced call, And so our special effects coordinator put on the mask and stood there for one shot.
Gotcha.
And I believe they had a dummy where they shot the darts into it.
So, working with Danielle Harris in a child, essentially, do you do anything special to kind of calm them, or was she just ready to go anyway?
She was ready to go. She was a trooper, I gotta admit, But there's shots of us where I'm sitting in a chair and she's sleeping in my arms, and then Mustafa Akkad's daughter, Mustafa would go, you're supposed to be afraid of him. I can't be afraid of him. He's too nice, you know. And she was the one that got killed a few years later at her wedding, he and Mustafa, you know. But they were a sweetheart. I mean, Danielle is like, yeah, we'd start talking about it, she'd start giggling. I go, you're supposed to be afraid. She goes, yeah, I'll be afraid when they roll it. But what a trooper. I mean, she wanted the laundry chute scene. I was so nervous about that one. We had a stunt double for her. And it's like, okay. And I put little pieces of tape inside. I go, okay, you can't go past here. You can't go past here. You gotta, you know, if you're gonna put your foot there, you put it here, you know. And you map it out before you do it. You know, and then I have where I marked out where I was gonna go. You know, and they would not allow you to do that today. They would not allow. I mean, I chased her with the car. You know, there's times where I was like, oh shit.
Oh man, that's funny. Are there any kills or anything that you, or stunts you might have done in Halloween that didn't make it to the screen?
Bunches. Yeah. Halloween 5 was fighting an X rating because of the violence. I mean, I killed the whole SWAT team that didn't make it to the,
Oh, really?
you know, you hear it over the radio, the one guy sitting in the car, and you hear the, I drive up and hit the, you know, his car and then smash his head on the dash, you know. But there was a whole, you know, SWAT team that goes out for me. One of them I think it made it still in there, where I break a guy's neck and I spin his head around and then I stomp him into the ground. I think that's about the only one that's left from the SWAT team. I think I killed 15 guys.
K&B Effects did the effects for the film. Greg Nicotero's here. Did you work with them at all on the film?
Well, you know, there was a time when Donald Pleasant broke my nose, and I had to go back in, and they, you know, laid it down, and they did a prosthetic of my nose and put it back on the mask because it has an insert already.
How did he break your nose?
With the 2x4? Well, actually, it was a foam, but it had a PVC pipe in it. And if you hit it on the foreside, it had more cushion. And he flipped it over and he hit me with that. And it just, and Don came over to me and I didn't say anything. And blood was running out of the mask. He goes, he got you? I go, yeah. Need anything? No, I'm fine. You know, stuffed some cotton up my nose, and we went ahead and kept on filming.
Other than breaking your nose, what was he like on set?
He was great. He came one night, it was in the forest when I'm chasing with the cars and all this, if you know the movie. And they had wrapped me for the night. And he came over to my dressing room, and he knocked on the door, and he goes, could I ask a favor of you? You go, yeah, sure, what? He goes, well, would you mind standing out there so I know that you're there? You know, yeah, I just want to know that you're there. I don't want to see you. I just want to know that your presence is there. I go, okay. So I started putting the wardrobe on and stuff. He goes, no, you don't have to do that. I go, no, I will, you know. Putting the mask on, went, you know. And he wanted to do all his own stunts too. You know, and the scene where I slam him into the window and throw him over the railing and stuff. And it's like, okay, well, we're going to do this, all right? You can bang your head. But I said, you know, going over the railing, no one's going to see your face. He goes, well, then use the stuntman. I go, okay. You know, but he was, I mean, the one scene when he's talking to me, and I swear to God, you know, I started listening to him, and everything started coming down, you know, and I was just getting, I go, wow, man, he's really good. And then I'd come back to it, you know. But he was, Peter O'Toole was offered a Parandello play. He said, well, I appreciate the offer, but the only person who can play this part is Donald Pleasance. And in my opinion, he's the finest actor in England. And that's coming from Peter O'Toole, which I think is high praise.
Yeah, most definitely. So let's fast forward to 2006. You play another famous killer, the fisherman. So how did you get involved in that? And what was it? I'll always know what you did last summer?
Yeah. Well, a lot of the producers who I've worked with over the years, go around to different shows and they go, oh, we got Don, we got this, And so Jeff Richards was the producer on it, and he goes, like to do this movie, blah, 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 we're doing this, and that. And I go, okay. He goes, well, do you want to coordinate or play the part? And I go, I want to do both. He goes, all right, So, I mean, it's a little extra, but, I feel more connected to it when I can get everything. Because usually, sometimes when you come in, you do a stunt part. It's like, okay, you come in, you haven't seen the script, and they go, okay, you're going to come through the door, and you're going to get shot. Okay. Or you're going to come through the door, and you're going to fall over the chairs, right? You don't really know how it hinges into the movie. But I like it, having to read and figure out, okay, this is what I think we should do. This is what I think we should do. It was just a different thing, killing people. This was with a hook. I hook a guy through the mouth and pull him through a window. If you don't think that wasn't hard.
So what was the makeup process like? Because your face was fully covered in that role.
Oh, yeah.
How long did that take to do?
It was 6 weeks. It's normal. But like I said, a lot of the people who are in the production end of it, I know we've worked together for years. A lot of the people from the old Grizzly Adams, a lot of our Grizzly Adams crew went, after that wrap, went to Star Trek. And so you have line producers who keep bringing the same people in. When they did part 6, they went back with the production crew that they had on part 4, because I guess they had some, I don't know what went on. But anyway, then, the stunt coordinator brought George Wilbur back, which is, what the coordinators do.
One last question from me, and then we'll take a couple from the audience before we wrap up. I had the pleasure of speaking with Jim Winburn before he passed. And I asked him, do you watch the movies you were in and this and that? And he said, no, he never did. He was a guy that would just go to work, come home, and that was it. Were you more like that, or did you actually watch some of the films?
No, that was me. When we were doing the Grizzly Adams series, I mean, we'd be working here today and then be on at like Wednesday nights. And the last thing I wanted to do was watch what I did last week, And, a lot of my kids hadn't seen any of the things I've done. Because when I come home, I'm dad. My youngest son, he said, what does your daddy do? I got 2 stories, actually. He goes, well, he plays in a coma and he falls in the dirt. He rides horses and falls in the dirt. And so, but my oldest son, we were living in Woodland Hills, and he went to this play school. And so they got in a little circle and they go, okay, we're going to talk about what our daddies do. And so he's sitting there and everybody's telling what their daddies do. And they came to him and they go, what does your daddy do? And he goes, I don't know. Well, your daddy, he goes to work, where does he go? I don't know. You go, well, where does he go? And he goes, well, I guess he works at the airport. Because that's, you see me coming and going from the airport. So I come over, and the teacher goes, which airport do you work at? And I go, what? Well, Graham says you work at the airport. And I work at the airport? What do you mean I work at the airport? He goes, I don't know, that's what he said. And he goes, I didn't know. What am I supposed to tell him? Anyway.
All right, who has a question? Anybody? No?
Come on, we're all friends.
Alrighty, well then we're going to all right.
What's the closest to dying did you ever come? Like, how close to dying were you ever?
Well, there's been several times.
How do I close it down?
In the quarter-inch war, I would have been dead.
Anybody else have a question?
The one where I broke my back. Wow. It could have killed me just as easy. Because what happened was they brought me they brought an aerobag that was too big. Because I had ordered one, and there was something with the production company we couldn't. And they sent me out a bag that was too big. And I go, I'm only going 60 feet. They go, well, this is what we got. So I tried it first, and it was like hitting the cement. And it went back up. Okay, as I go off, turn the fans off, and I'll go into a dead bag. And so, they called action, told them to kill the bags, paused a little too long, went in, and it popped me up off the bag. And I was, didn't know where I was coming off backwards. And I went to look, and I landed on my face, and my heels came around and hit me in the back of the head. So that was pretty close.
I would say so.
And I had one where I was racing a train, and I had to cut into it at the last minute. And as I did it, when I got to the other side, the car died. And it could have been just as easy getting hit by the train. So, I mean, I have to, you don't really relish those things too much. It's like, okay, that could have happened, but I didn't.
So you worked on the Grizzly Adams TV show?
Yes, I did.
What was Denver Powell like?
He was great.
Was he?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, me growing up watching Dukes of Hazzard the whole time.
Yes.
Uncle Jesse.
Well, see,
I loved him on that show, too.
I kind of knew the writing was on the wall because we were doing the TV series, right?
Yeah.
And during the hiatus, Denver went and did the pilot for Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I go, we're going to get canceled. And Dan's going, no, we're not. We got ratings, blah, blah, blah. I go, no, we're going to get canceled.
Yeah.
Right? And sure as shit.
Did you?
And see, the people who were on Dukes of Hazzard,
Yeah.
the year before, Lynn Kaufman and his production team were on Grizzly Adams, and they went to Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
And so they brought Denver along.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
But no, he was great. He was part of the Charles Lawton Shakespearean actors.
Great.
Yeah. And Charles Lawton liked it because the closest thing to an English accent is a Southern accent. So he would do, my hands are bred of the Spartan kind, low fluid and sanded, crooked and two laplocks, a Salian bulls, but crooked, mouth and mouth like bells, each under each, but judge for yourself when you hear.
Yeah.
And then, but Charles Lawton, oh, that's wonderful. But he was,
Now, like what he was asking, did you know a fellow stuntman, anybody that did get killed and doing it that you worked with? Or?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, A.J. Kahunas, like I said, he got killed.
Oh, yeah. The car, right? He did that big jump.
The high fall, yeah.
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 And there's that haunting interview with Lee Majors, doing that right before he jumped. Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, and I was supposed to be on the movie.
Yeah.
Bob Tessier and I were up for the same part.
Wow.
Because a lot of the high steel workers in Manhattan are Native American.
Right.
As a matter of fact, it's a tribal thing.
That's correct, yeah.
Because the inner ear, my father was this way, that he could work high.
Yeah.
And it doesn't affect him.
Wow. That's fascinating. Thank you for sharing that.
But no, Denver was,
Yeah.
loved him.
And somebody said too, like he read, like he bought he had like investments where he was so rich nobody realized how rich he was by the.
Oh, he's one of the major shareholders in Rusky Oil.
That's right.
Back when we were doing the series, they were paying him to cap wells.
Right. Wow. How about that?
And he had 5 Bentleys.
Oh my God.
Right.
Wow.
And something fell down and dented one of them. And he took it to this guy, and he said, "Oh, I worked on that fender. This is so and so." They knew everybody that made the cars.
Isn't that something?
Right.
So rare.
And he got out 2 little shot bags, and he started taking the dent out.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's.
But he drove a Volkswagen with a Rolls Royce front on it.
That's pretty cool. It's amazing.
Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Don. Let's give it up for Don. Thank you.
Otherworldlyculture.com. Subscribe, like, and comment on our posts all over social media and our site, otherworldlyculture.com.